Hare Krishna. I'm very sorry. Actually, there was some technical problem with my connection and as with the computer as well. So could not log in on time. Welcome everyone. Hare Krishna. So let us quickly begin because now it's already 8 minutes late. So we will quickly begin the session. So we will start the session with the invocation prayers. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Today is day 7. So today's topic is functional management of cows. So I request Sri Kumar Prabhu, please go ahead with your session, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Would you please permit me to share?
Yes, Prabhu, I'm doing that. Prabhu already given the permission.
To all, am I audible, Krishna?
Yes, audible.
Let me just stop and join with the volume. Just 1 minute.
Prabhu, it's very clear.
No, that it is sound also I had to share. No, that was missing. Now I have corrected.
Yeah.
So Hare Krishna to all. So we have almost covered all the functions of different parts we are managing in the landscapes or in the farm that we are managing. Now it is time to put all things together. That is, put all the functions together. It's time for that. So today our common topic, the main topic is actually the common sense approach to managing landscapes with biodiversity. In that we have come to the next topic, that is the need for proper management of cows in the landscape. That is what we'll be dealing today. As usual, we should go through our context, that why we are doing this, or what is it, how is it that we want our life to be, and how is it that we want the environment that is to sustain us in the coming years to come, and how we should behave. So these things we should again remind ourselves, because the full presentation or the full program is to achieve this context. And the only thing is, which we have to be really thinking is, we want real education, contextual decision making, to live in harmony as a being in the ecosystem we live in. That is a very important thing, that it should be a contextual decision making, and all to be ensured for many generations to come on a foundation of regenerating soils and biologically diverse communities on Earth's land and her rivers, lakes, and oceans. That is a thing we should not forget for what we are doing all these things. It is for to achieve the context, the way we want our lives to be. And we have also underlined after understanding that it is the decision that we make is where we are to be very careful, because as human beings we have some deficiency in actually seeing the complexity and managing the complexity. So in that case, the only tool that can help us to manage the complexity is spirituality. And in that, the Vedic paradigm, or the universal paradigm, that Om Purnamadam Purnamidam, that is the personality who created this system or is intelligent and complete. And the system that he has made is also intelligent and complete. And so we only need to know certain highlights of this particular paradigm, which says that it is entropic, which is, we have to be very clear on it, that it is not a system wherein you grow something, it degenerates or desertifies. It's a system wherein the more you grow, it keeps on, fertility keeps on increasing. That is the system that we are managing. And in that case, why do we need to worry about the increase in population? That will not deplete the resources in the ecosystem. That is not how this Purna is. It is Purna. And another important thing, that is the resources are available at the site. There is no need for any more inventions because it is a completely developed system that he has given us. And as we assume that, or understand and be a being in the farm, there's no difference between the farm we manage and who we are. We and the farm and the manager shall be the same. We need appropriate technology in certain cases, since a lot of the functions, because of many species have been become extinct, and so there are a lot of functions that are missing now. Functional extinction is also there. In that case, appropriate technology may be needed. Still, it's a biodiversity which is more powerful for creating a future we want. And nature is self-organizing and relentless. It doesn't stop with one species goes. You may be facing some unintended consequences, but it is relentless. And there are no parts in nature. Thinking in wholes is critical to making better decisions. That is, to see the complexity and manage it as a complex state is where we have to be gaining our expertise. That then only we can be successful in managing landscapes. And that consciousness, only a conscious human being shall have. The human being is conscious. That is what I told last time also. Shall have the skill to manage complexity in our ecosystem. When we lose the consciousness, only we become the human doing. So when you are in the human doing state, we take decisions. We do not consider the well-being of the other species, because it is the well-being of the other species that keeps us also with a well-being. Otherwise, it is not possible, because we cannot manage ourselves as a single without managing the other species also. It is a whole. So when you become a conscious, become a human being, naturally, all the decisions we make simultaneously considers the well-being of all the other species. That is how the system functions. So now, if you remember, when we did the function of the landscapes, we had a particular slide wherein we were speaking about what to do with the biomass that comes on the land after a rain. This is where we have always gone wrong. We take only what we want. Like, if you have planted some mangoes, we think about the mangoes only. We don't think about the other things. Other things, what we do is, we may put fire, we may use technology to put it down, or we may leave it, rust it. But these three will damage the landscape. If any of these things we do, we are cutting the branch on which we are sitting. So now, how do you manage it, this particular part? And then grow with, so that we are living with the biodiversity. How can we do it? So before that, we need to understand that we may be calling semi-arid, humid and all. In a broader way, if you think, we need to, it is called brittleness. Brittleness means from a continuum from non-brittle to very brittle, that is 0 to 10. In that, we need to, from this particular picture in the center itself, we can understand how much time during the year do you have humidity present in your landscape? Is it there year round, or is it there only during the rainy season, or during a particular season? Based on that, the landscape, your landscape can be non-brittle to brittle in any of the scales, 1, 2, 3, up till 10, anywhere you can be. Some have regular distribution of moisture, whether rain, snow, or humidity, throughout the seasons, termed non-brittle. That is the extreme, one end. That is, throughout the year, it is humid. So what happens is, it is the humidity or the moisture that is needed for the recycling process. So for growth and recycling. So you are going to have a continuous growing season throughout the year. But in a place where it is very brittle or towards the brittle side, only during the time you have the rain, that is, it is the major growing season. So how you manage that particular time is very crucial. So this is the main classification that we need to understand. At the extreme of the continuum, brittle environments have very different characteristics with irregular, uneven distribution of moisture throughout the year, because that moisture is needed for the recycling process or the growth. And in such cases where it is too brittle, it is the moisture from the gut of the ruminants that keeps the moisture there. So that is how things have to be managed. So in a very humid areas, the organisms or the life that will be there will be different. The size of the life will be different. And in the non-brittle, it may even be the insects that are doing the work, or small ruminants. But as the brittleness increases, the size of the recycling microorganisms also keep increasing. So because you need to put it down and it has to be recycled. Otherwise, there will be problems. So how much of our area landscape is like that, which is covered with that red color, and that particular color you see, that those are the areas that are coming under this brittle areas, and if you do not manage these areas properly, it is deserted. Already these areas are desertified. In India also, you will see the most of the North India, and a little bit our Andhra Pradesh and those areas also come under the brittle areas, little bit brittle areas. So almost 2/3. Understanding brittleness helped unravel the age-old mystery of desertification. Today, this new knowledge is helping people around the world reverse desertification and restore damaged land. So, if you take India also, just look where the red line has come. Smaller breeds of cattle are seen in the non-brittle zones, and larger bodied cows are seen in the brittle zone. So if you see where that red line comes, what is the size of the cows there? Those are the areas where we have bigger cows. So that it is linked to that. I told you, depending upon the brittleness, the size of the animals also keep changing. In a non-brittle area, what happens is if the grass is not recycled or put down, what will happen is you see that graying of the grass. It will start to gray and it will not fall down unless and until it has been grazed by a cow or hit down by a cow or by any system. It will stand there and it will obstruct the future grass growth, and it can lead to a desertification situation. That is how it is. So because when the humidity is more, it may be more insects and rapid biological actions there, breakdown. And the main herbivores, in case of where the brittleness is high, it will be the mammals and marsupials. Whereas in case of the breakdown of vegetation, it is very rapid and biological rapid in the more humid areas or where it is more non-brittle. And when it goes to more brittleness, you see gradual oxidation weathering if inadequate herbivores are there. If the animals are not given their function to be done, then in those areas we are paving way for desertification. So in brittle environments, we need herd of ruminants. And that is so in those areas, we need to mimic the system of the wild animals with our herd of cattle. And that is how it has to be done. In the following growing season, that is once it rains, when soil micro and macro once again become numerous, they consume the dung as well as the dead vegetation that had been trampled into the soil and thus complete the cycle of decay. When these animals start moving, they recycle the biomass and put it down, and then again it is taken up by the next life and the process complete. So we need a herd impact or the animal impact, and according to the brittleness only, the size of the animal also varies. Like if you just compare in the non-brittle areas, it will be always humid, like you have Kerala or the coastal areas down, maybe Assam, such areas. There you will have the smaller size of cow also. And in the long brittle areas where the long dry periods, you have a rain, growth for 3 months or so, then it is an extensive dry period. These are the brittle areas. So there you need a bigger animal also. And the non-brittle, the dependable moisture is throughout the year. The other one, it is divided into wet and dry seasons. In non-brittle, the most year rainfall is close to average. The other one, the rainfall is often far above or far below average. It is not linked to the rainfall, it is linked to the humidity. It is all based on the biological decay. So it is rapid biological decay. Dead growth rots from the bottom and falls over. Like, if the plant is there, because of the moisture, from bottom itself it rots and the plant will fall down. But in the other one, slow decay by weathering at the tips of twigs and grasses. Death growth may stand for years or decades, turning gray with age. That is what will happen in a brittle zone. The rusted land in the case of non-brittle heals from damage. If you have done some disturbance, if you just rust it itself, it will come back to, it will heal itself. But in the case of a brittle area, prolonged rust damages and desertifies the land. Animal impact, the intense trampling and dunging of animals in a tight herd heals it. That is needed in such areas. And another interest in the non-brittle areas, or wherever we have tigers in India, they are all non-brittle areas. And wherever we have pack-ending predators like lions and wolves, they come under the brittle zones. So as the brittleness increases, you see that the size of the animals also increases. See, the right side, you see it is more than 600 kg. The bulls you see on the brittle areas like our Gir, then this, what is that? Just the breed that you see in Rajasthan with that long horn.
Concrete.
Kangaroo, yeah, kangaroos, they are all large-bodied. Whereas you see in the other one, Ponganur, then our Malanad and Giddas. Then in Kerala, you have different breeds. All these are small because depending upon the humidity only or the brittleness only, the size of the animal varies. So why I'm showing this is, please don't try to bring the animal which is in the brittle area to the non-brittle area, or don't try to bring the non-brittle cow to the brittle area. Because why do we ship these animals? Sahiwal, that is the big top one. Why do we ship these animals? It is only for the purpose of milk. That is not their function. Their function is grazing. Just to put that, make you again understand that only this particular slide goes good. This size of the animal is a need for that particular landscape. It has got nothing to do with how much milk we will be able to get. So how do we heal the land? Now we understand that many areas our organic carbon has come down. How can we do it without purchasing additional inputs? How can we improve it? And the only known tool to heal the land is animal impact. That is what Alan Sabry has told, and that is what he has explained and taught us. That is because we need to know how to manage these animals, because we have not designed the mouth of the cows. We know that it is, we studied in the last class that they don't have a teeth on the upper incisors. So we are not the ones who designed it. We needn't teach them how to, then we needn't teach them how to and what to eat, because they are designed to eat only the tips. We needn't show them how to behave. That also, if you connect the cow and the calf together, they know to behave. But we need to prevent overgrazing. That is where we can go wrong. This is very important when we manage cows. I strongly believe that if all the goshalas that we have presently, goshauchalayas that we have presently all over India, if they can understand this, just the principle of grazing and prevent overgrazing itself, many of the problems of feeding, feed cost, ingard and all can be reduced. So just to make it more clear, grazing is a double-edged sword, because when done scientifically, it will increase the boundaries of the soil, can provide. The cows shall be allowed to graze not more than 50% of the grass from a fully grown grassland. When cows graze beyond that, then this land starts to degrade, for which they are not to be blamed. We are to be blamed. We should know this science. And when does overgrazing occur? When the plant is exposed to animals for too many days and they're around to regraze it as it tries to grow. That means taking them to the same place daily is not grazing, it is gazing. Don't do that. You will fail. You will degrade that particular land. When animals move away but return soon, that is, you should provide the grass time to recover to the stage when you had put initially. That much you have to give the time. It can be in the rainy season, it will come back fast. So you can get more grazing during the rainy season. But you have to see the average and manage even during the dry season. So when animals move but return soon and graze the plant again while it is still using stored energy to reform leaf. And another very important thing is from dormancy, that is during the summer, the perennials may be dormant. There may be no animals growing. Suddenly when it rains, some sprouts start to come. You shouldn't graze them then. You should give the same recovery period for the grass to come up to that stage that when it touches the belly, then only graze the cows. Immediately following dormancy, when it rains and the plant is growing new leaf from stored energy, please don't graze the cows then. So this has to be very clearly understood. Then it is very easy to manage cows because there is plenty of land still there. So we also talked about the stocking rate last time, but we didn't talk about stocking density. So now as the moment we arrive at the stocking rate, how many cows can I keep in my area per acre? Then it is the number of cows or that total weight of cows at a particular area of your farm during a short period of time. How are you going to move your cows? That is what is called stocking density. You have arrived at the stocking rate, but how are you going to move them? That is where the stocking rate comes. See that last time we understood. This also I'm just refreshing only. So depending upon the recovery period of grass, we have to decide the stocking rate. So now this is what is happening in nature. You see this many number of animals, they are grazing. What all things are happening here? They are eating the grass, then they are trampling down the grass. They may be pressing on seeds, which are again seeding. Then they may be dunging, urinating, even saliva may be falling. And because of the hoof movement, the disturbance, there may be a lot of compaction can be relieved. Many activities do take place at this time. The most important thing that they do is nibbling, dunging, urinating, trampling, and bunging. Moving together. That's what they do. What is the main thing that happens now is because they are moving in a herd and passing dung on the place from where they are eating, it will be full of dung as they pass through, and the whole area will be trampled. Now, where will they eat from tomorrow? That is the question now. So where will they eat from tomorrow? They will not be eating here. They will be going to the next patch of land. So when will they come back here? Only after the full dung has been recycled and good grass has come. Now just imagine, just visualize. Today they have grazed and they have grazed this area, dunged, urinated, trampled and gone. What will be the quality of grass after it recovers? Will it be better or worse? It will be better than before. So this is how soil building happens. If your landscape is managed mimicking this system, your landscape keeps building in fertility. This is the secret mantra here. They have to keep moving and return only after it has been recycled. And this is when you understand that the more you do, the better the land becomes. So this is called the natural high density short time grazing as a result of the predator effect. Because of the predator only they are bunging together. No predator can attack if they are in the herd. So this is what we want to mimic in our system when we manage cows in our landscapes after understanding the stocking rate. Like, with the help of electric fence, mimicking high density, then an area you find, today you put them there, it can be done. Or like, you can make with the mesh, whichever material you think, or even it can be with the herder also. We have to put them in a particular area depending upon we have that formula, how much area should be given to each cow depending upon the grass that is grown there. And then you make them do all the work there and move them to the next plot. This is how we can do it in our system, in our landscape. This is how we can do it. Different methods. I'm telling you the cheapest is that particular community. We had a community called the herders. They are the ones who can do it the cheapest. Otherwise, we will have to use some structures to manage it. It's a building soil with dung and urine by moving, mobbing, and mowing. Mowing is just cutting only the top. Mobbing is moving together and they're putting the grass down. Moving is their hoof action. See, this is one plot where in Gokuldham when we did it. So now they are in the for one plot and they have grazed it. Now we have separated with the mesh. So now when you move that mesh, you will see they are going to move into the fresh pasture. So even this happens. You can just imagine every day they are getting the ice cream, the tips only. Every day when you do like this, now after they finish grazing that plot, again they are going to another fresh area with this much grass, fresh grass coming. So then their quality or their nutrition requirements are met. And the next time they reach here, once the grass has grown to this height, it is superior quality grass. And that is how, and when the calf is kept together and that 10% increase and this increase in nutrition condition, that is how the milk becomes excess in a system. So this stocking density decides the animal impact. When you move them closely, then what all happens? Pruning of grass while grazing, mulching of the soil, lays dead plant materials as a cover and mulch, seeding buries the seed and compacts the soil, 100% utilization of dung and urine as manure, 100% utilization of dung and urine. If you're keeping them in the Gaushauchalas, where is the urine going? It is not reaching the soil. Urine is an important thing needed for the establishment of fungi in the soil. You need it because it is that nitrogen. Urine is nitrogen, urea, that is needed. Water infiltration breaks hard soil surfaces to allow water in and feeding, of course. All these things happen by just this proper planned movement. That is, every move into fresher pastures, leaving behind grazed grass to regrow. This is the principle that we need to know. So we had understood last time. See, now in this particular land, according to the stocking rate, we have put 6 cows in 41 acres of land. They are now doing continuous grazing. Are we able to put the dung in a particular area? It is spread all over. It may take a lot of time when all the areas have to be covered with dung. But when you shift it again to half the area, then you get 6 months, you get the dung accumulated or in a particular area. And so impact will be more there. As you again do more, you are getting the dung accumulate into even a smaller area. That means you are getting more impact on that particular area. And then again, if you make it into pieces, you are again able to put the dung confined to a particular area. And then as the cow moves from this particular area where we have given the impact, you can do your cropping. The land is ready with dung and urine and all those trampling. The soil is so soft, made soft. You can do your cropping. When will you come back? After your crop yield is over, only you will come back now. Why should they come there? To eat the crop residues. So it is not that there will not be any time in the full year that they will have to stand without food. That is how we need to manage. So once during the growing, before the growing season, you have to put the seeding, everything. And once the grass starts to grow, proper movement, your plant also starts to grow. By the time you reach here, you would have harvested your crops. And then when they reach here, you can give them the crop residues. This is the only science behind it. So continuous grazing, they are all distributed all over. You cannot manage. But as you keep making it into smaller pieces and ensuring that they get their share of food one day. And then, like, 53 cows may be needed in a proper grazing land. 53 cows can graze in 1 acre of land. One day. If you divide that one day also into 4, so for some hours in the first one, After that, you move to the second plot and then move to the third plot. In one day itself, if you separate, again, the impact even on the land is huge, and the dung and urine concentrates in a particular area, and that effect is superb. That is exactly what the cows can do for us. So when, just example of that 6 cows moving in total weight, total 6, it is in 10 acres if you are doing, that means 6 cows, if it is 400 kg, the total weight is 2400 kg. And then in 10 acres means 40,000 square meters. If it is continuous grazing, 365 days you are keeping them in that area. It is just like if you compare it to what is the stocking density per acre, it is only 240 kg per acre, or less than a cow per acre is the impact there when you do continuous grazing. But when you do planned grazing, wherein you are giving 75 square meters per cow, what happens is the land area becomes shorter, 450 square meters. For 24 hours you are keeping, the impact is 21 tons per acre, or an impact of 53 cows per acre. That's called the planned grazing. But when you keep them in the night, that is called the crawling, keeping them in the night, especially in the cropland where you are planning to farm, you need to give them only 10 square meter, 5 to 10 square meter per cow for the night only. You are just keeping them in the night. In that case, you are keeping them only for 12 hours. The impact is 320 tons with this just 6 animals. It is an impact of 800 cows per acre. That is how we can do in croplands. Just imagine the quantity of dung that would have fallen in that particular area. You can't imagine using technology to bring that dung. Even if you bring that dung, you will need another technology to bring the urine. But in this case, you get all the dung and urine on this particular land. So now you can very easily understand this particular slogan. From the movement possible by front 2 hands and hind 2 legs, and the intestinal products of the cow, agriculture comes forth. It is not written that from the agriculture products, the intestinal products, agriculture comes forth. That is not what is written here. It is told from the movement possible from the 2 hands and hind legs. That is, if agriculture comes forth by the movement of cows, not keeping them in go shauchalayas. That is dung-based farming. Cow-based farming, they have to come to the property where you want to farm. They will make it ready for you. Otherwise, you will naturally bring in the metal plow. That is not what is prescribed. This is the way it has to be done. So now, how can we do it is the next thing. So by this animal impact, you have a zoo on top and a zoo beneath. It is that connection point. That is, we are standing on the roof of another world. This is what happens. By their movement, you are triggering the movement of the work. You are giving work for the species below the soil. And that is how your land keeps developing, and every move, the land gets fertile and fertile and fertile. Then only we are actually achieving the Vedic paradigm. So the impact can be done in 2 ways, like by grazing also you can give the impact, and also by crawling. Crawling means just folding them. See, you have made a structure and you have decided I'm going to farm here, and then you have kept the cows in that particular area when they are not grazing, maybe in the night, or you can also feed them in this particular area, and then you get all the dung and urine and all the disturbance on the soil. You can put the seeds beforehand and then put the mulch maybe the grass you want them to eat, and then you allow them to eat and you go. When the rain comes, you needn't worry, you will have a super crop that year. It's so simple as that. Cows make it possible for us to live a wholesome, prosperous life on this earth with abundant water, food, and other necessities. By their very existence, we cannot call any of these animals, once born till their death, they can never be called unproductive if you are using them, if you are allowing them to do this work for us. So I'm just sharing few Rigveda slogas just to make you understand that even in a degraded state, these cows can help us. Farmlands with cows, retain water and maintain. The slogan number is also given. This is what the translation is. Farmlands with cows, retain water and maintain. See, farmlands with cows, retain water cycle, maintain healthy organisms, soil life, between boundaries, urine and dung of cows. It is told farmland with cows. It is not told dung and urine brings it. Very clear it is. Between boundaries, urine and dung of cows, which eliminate harmful microorganisms, keep soil fertile like sun and rains, make the land free from harmful pests and make it fertile. That means cow-based farming is the only solution for pesticide attack. For pesticide attack by human beings. You know, that pest attack or whatever we call it is not pest attack. It is to save us only. See, wasteland that is not visited by cows. We have come upon a vast tract of land that has no cows. It has the looks of having been devastated by wars. Bring on the cows and provide special care for this land to restore its health and show the path for good citizens to bring it back to life. Day by day, now the procedure is given, day by day, in stages, by help of black skin cows. I am yet to know why black skin. Only thing I know is they are better in recycling. They are far better in recycling. That is the only thing I have understood. There may be something regarding their dung also, which I am actually searching for it. Create habitat and facilities of water, suitable housing. That means all facilities for the people who are living with them and other land reclamation resources in one part of the land, and then moving over to the next part of the land, it is possible to reclaim the wasteland and replace them with greenery to attract rains and make the land habitable. See, water cycle will be in place. Mineral cycle will be in place by their proper movement. This is not from any university. This is from our Vedic text. Thus, it is possible to move forward in blocks of 10 miles to gradually reclaim wastelands, to convert them into fertile agriculture wealth, producing farmland by greening to attract atmospheric rains. Thus, in blocks of 10 miles, land reclamation can give provide prosperity and wealth by farm produce for food, cotton, etc. for clothing, horses, etc. for energy and modes of transport. The next is important. Thus, a peace-loving lifestyle, this is our context. Thus, a peace-loving lifestyle emerges in society, supported by tens of horse-drawn carriages and hundreds of cows. So that is how the system has to be done. We have kept them in a particular land, in movable paddocks in Gokuldam. They are recycling grass into dung, which goes directly to soil, where it will be processed by soil life forms to perform their many beneficial functions. Different ways, different areas, different views. You can see the top right. Now they have used the electric fence there. Now they are in the finished one area, and now they are going to move into the next. It is only the system that has to be seen, and this will be the aerial view of when they move herding. And in the bottom left, one plot is over. Now they are in the next plot, and they'll move to the next plot. That is how the thing keeps moving. Cows are moving while moving and performing their function of grazing. This I'm just sharing a video of Chihuahua in desert, where in you will understand from the video presentation itself that what is the temperature there. And more important, it is the stocking rate is 250, more than 250 acres per cow. That is the level of degradation in this particular property. And how they did it, and now they have reached 25 to 30 acres per cow. And it's only by the movement of the principles mentioned in the Vedas that which I just read out. Please listen to this.
Chihuahuan desert where it's incredibly hot, and it'll take you to Alejandro's ranch where it's 6 to 11 inches of rain. And I used to go to college right here. I will tell you, it's 5 degrees away from hell. It is hotter than heck. Alejandro created this incredible grazing system because he understands holistic management. He understands adaptive grazing. He broke all these paddocks and he used these type of systems, one hot wire. So they took this type of conventional system. Imagine farming that place. Typically, the ranchers would only get they would have to have 250 acres to support one cow. They have done this with understanding They have done it now from 250 to 20 acres to support one cow. That's Alejandro's dad. They never planted that grass. That's the ecological memory, and that grass came up on itself by mimicking nature, moving the animals correctly, by using and aggregating this powerful substance, manure, urine, biology. That's what our soils want, life. They want biology. It is very common to, down in Chihuahua, North Dakota, South Dakota, I do this. It's bale grazing where you get that food, that carbon, and then you let the animals graze it, and then it looks like that in the spring, and then this is the response. Look at where the bale grazing compared to where there was not bale grazed. Look how yellow and chlorotic. What our system wants, what the soil wants, is life. It wants the molecules of life. They do not want inorganic fertilizer. That is not the molecules of life. They want saliva, they want urine, they want manure, they want hair, they want life, they want root exudates. Look at the difference in the bale grazing and the yield versus the non-bale grazing. Look at the quality that comes out. Look at the crude protein. Does it matter the way we move our animals? Well, it does. Look at the color of the soil of a continuous graze system versus the regenerative grazing system. Look at the supermolecules. Look at the aggregation, infiltration rates. It matters if you let the cattle do what they want and just set stock versus moving them continuously. It makes an impact to the nutrient cycle. The nutrient cycle wants not to be disturbed. It wants plants and it wants animals. Next one, and the last one of the ecosystem process.
So in this,
we talked about.
It is clear, no, that by doing the proper grazing, it was clearly given what was the nutrient density, nutrient quality difference in the grass compared to where it was not grazed. That much quality difference is there. Then why do you worry about Amrut? It will come, but you have to move the cows properly. Then only it will come into place. See, just listen to this particular thing. That is how breaking compaction, see how compaction can be big to favor plant growth. Compaction, with compaction, no plant will grow. And how we'll just see how it can be done.
This is the last remaining bare spots. Listen to it. Do you hear that hollow sound? You shouldn't hear that when you trap soil. That is very unhealthy. Now, every gardener knows, you don't have to be a scientist, that if you want plants to grow on this, you're going to have to break that. Livestock with their hooves, if you change their behavior so that their hoof action breaks us. Now you've got a tool that can do that year after year and get the grass growing, as you're going to see all over this property. Grass is now beginning to grow because we used the livestock to break that surface and get the plants to start growing.
So now do you understand how why it was told by the movement of the front hands and the hind legs? This is how the soil, this is the only way by which the soil should be disturbed, not with any other tools. See, this is in Agarwal farms, how they are doing the seeding also. What they keep, before they want to grow, they will keep the bulls, cows there, do the disturbance, and now they will show you how it is done. So by keeping the cows on that area, where they have different types of movements, they are actually digging and see place where they have disturbed how the soil, because there is mulch, everything is there. It's not actually the soil, it is the mulch and all those things that is there. A little bit disturbance in the soil. How much leaf it grows, you see. This is exactly what you want when you want to plant. No? This is exactly what you want when you want to plant. And then on that area, use your whatever equipment, just do the seeding. Whichever way you want,
This is how soft
but
the
only
land is
disturb the
when it is being treated properly.
upper area, that organic material
Not
only.
any tractor, not even bulls. ये हमारे बैल हैं. देखिए, we are not touching the soil. This is just biomass, which some of which has turned to humus, some of it is decomposing, and the rest is covering it up. The seeding will be done here. See one live example. The seed which was earlier here, this is babool, which naturally fell into. It has sprouted in the biomass. It has not touched the soil yet. The root is going down. The root is going down. First, root growth happens. It goes down, and then the leaves start to emerge. See.
So that is how it has to be done.
So we actually.
This is in another area. It is in Ahmedabad how it was done. This is what they have done. There is the bale grazing. That is the plot where they want to crop, do something. They have put the grass or hay or this straw all over the property. And then on the right side, you see, then the cows are moved in. You can see the as video. Now what they are doing is they are layering the land with the what they want to feed. It can be grass, can be hay, can be straw, whatever it is. It's called, this system is called bale grazing. And you can see the cows at the back side, where they have done the last night. Now this is the day morning, and then they are brought in there, where now they will eat. They will dung on it, same as grazing, and then after some time they will be moved to the next one. And the next day, that same land will look like this. In the morning, if you go there, this is how the land will look like. This could be full of mulch, dung, urine caught in the mulch, and you see the birds are also busy there to do their functions, and a little bit scratching and all. Isn't this the land you want to crop? What is the excuse? If you have a community where you have the cows coming to your land, it is over. No? The work is over. No? See, when they graze, all the dung and urine falls on the land. Now it is uniformly it has fallen. This is like it is the Google number. Uniformly, see how it has fallen. Even if you put also, it won't fall. You cannot put it like this. And then you see the right picture is of a property in the snow. There also now they are doing. So you can see in the back side the grass is there and the cows are brought there. That is how it is done. Wherever, this is the best method to reclaim the land. And now what happens? Once the dung falls, we understood that the next group of soil life comes into picture. So the dung beetles come, earthworms come, all start to act. You see, the dung is getting converted into mud. It's taken deep down and mud is gone. Just like your tilling machine will do, that each area gets tilled. And then you see, this is in another area. This is in Jaipur. The other one was in Gogulda. The full land soil bioturbation is called bioturbation happens, and it becomes so soft and full of holes, as you see. And what will happen when it rains next time? Where will the water go? It will go inside. And so how you see it has improved your permeability, infiltration rate and all. So there are a lot of life that lives on the dung that falls. When you keep them in the go shauchalaya, who is going to come and do this for you there? only some insects that, breeding site for insects, and the cows will be attacked heavily by those insects. That is exactly what we do. See the list of things that happen when they do, which is put on the soil directly, aerating the soil, taking organic matter, deep sequestering carbon, water percolation, bioturbation, increasing porosity, increases biological activity, mitigate climate change, healthy crops, increases the nutrient density in the crops. This is our context. This is what we need to accept. To get the context, the cow should be moving on the land. I will just share one video. This one of the studies done with the cows. Just listen to this. He's an entomologist, and just listen to it.
That important? Okay, so if you get your dung pats out of there within the first 7 minutes or 7 days, you do not have pest problems. You break your pest cycles. A lot of your fly problems, a lot of your helminth parasites are eliminated from your system. All right? So we decided to take a look at this, especially in the light of ivermectins, because everybody likes to, or so many people like to treat their cows. And what we found is that management can replace that almost entirely. Okay, so we sampled 16 ranches in eastern South Dakota. We grouped these into regenerative ranches, which had higher stocking rates, more frequent movement, and they didn't use ivermectins. They also had a longer rest period. And then the conventional ranches had very low stocking rates, but they left them on there, basically a continuous grazing operation. And then we intensively surveyed the insect communities. Jacob, as part of this, identified over 116,000 insects. We found that there were more than 400 insects per cow pat in this study, and 172 species. To my knowledge, this is the most comprehensive bioinventory of cattle dung ever conducted. What did we find? Regenerative ranches had greater species diversity and species richness. Maggots were significantly higher in the ivermectin-treated animals. That's not supposed to happen, is it? It's just like Claire's study yesterday. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Dung beetles were only 1.5 to 3% of that community. And that is another issue, right? We're so focused on dung beetles. We think dung beetles are the most important thing out there. My God, 97% of that community is other stuff. But dung beetles are so important. You want to know why? They drove the abundance and the diversity of the whole entire rest of the community. And that's because they're the early colonizers. As soon as that pat is turned out, it skins over. And the only thing that's heavy-bodied enough to punch holes into it is dung beetles. And so they open up a highway system that allows the rest of the insect community to colonize and tear it apart. It's about interactions. It's about interactions. Yeah, I said it before, agrochemicals are an addiction. Pests, if you have a pest problem in your field or on your ranch, the pest is not the problem. The pest is the symptom. Solve the problem. Stop reacting. Start designing systems where you don't have these issues. Change the system. Abandon pesticides. That's the first step in this process. It's not, I'm going to use a little less. And it's a painful process sometimes, right? It's a painful process. Just like getting off of drugs. It's not pretty to watch. Next, use high-intensity grazing. Move your animals and allow a rest period. And then finally, integrate herds. Animals did not evolve on their own. They evolved together, right? They work together.
And then on that crop where you have given the impact, grow your crops, vegetables, greens, whatever you want to grow. This is a plot where they had crawled, and now they are growing their vegetables there. See that, follow the other principles, and you will get high nutrient rich food from such a property. See the comparison. On the left one, you have the land which is not impacted. The right one is an impacted soil. See the difference in color. Do you see the difference in growth? You have a same type of person standing inside the right side also. This is the difference that you will start to see. Many persons in India, see the left one is in Goa. He had impacted that land using the cows, and then he had planted paddy there. He got the highest yield so far registered in Goa, that particular person. And the right side, you see, this is in Chandwaji in Jaipur. See the diversity, and it's all done by cows. Seeding done by cows. See, it can be done. So the model cow herd boy, I hope you know who is standing there on the right side. So the model cow herd boy, he manages the nibbling, dunging, urinating, trampling, and bunging of cows. The ability to control the movement of livestock across the landscape puts the power in your hands. This is where you need to learn and move. We need to move them. They are supposed to be moving. That he knows, he knew, Krishna knew, he showed us, and now we have to do it that way. Take home message from the cow is, it's very important. Complete healthy food from land depends on only a few hours of grazing as they move, because we understood that as they keep moving, the land is getting more and more fertile. The cows plow, plant, mulch, fertilize, and harvest or prune as they move. That also we understood. And another important thing is they also manufacture a directly edible, nutritious food as they move. I hope you know what is this amrita. So it is all linked to the movement that amrita can be produced. This is a take-home message from the cow. So by keeping cows on the land, let us replace pharmacology with pharmacology. See, the left side you have that pharmacology, the right side you have the real pharmacology. Can you calculate the cost to society in terms of health problems attributed to unnatural farming methods? Contextual farming considers everyone's welfare, people, animals, land, water, and environment, because that is our context. And think local. It's not supermarket, it is local. Local produce, locally sold. Finally, never sacrifice and destroy ecological wealth for the financial gain. If money is tight, always find another way. Don't disturb photosynthesis. Find some other way to make money. Do some other profession. But you want money, don't do it on the land. Ecological wealth, once gone, it's difficult. It's like cutting the branch on which we are sitting. So managing the resources, if you continue to do what you have always done, you will continue to get what you have always got. We will only get more cataract clinics or cancer hospitals if you are going to continue this way. We need to change. We need to see the pest, the weeds, our message from Mother Nature and manage it properly. Cows, soil, grass, rain, sunlight, summer, winter are our resources. And common sense tells us that resources do not cause problems. It is how we manage them for their functions rather than utility that results in problems. We need to understand their function and manage them for that. So now real food can come only when we move cows from the garbage. Now because we saw them for the utility, they are in the garbage now. From garbage, bring them back to the pasture land or crop land. Cows, by nourishing the soil, ensures our protection by providing us the real food, real water, real flower. That's our context. Just see this video. This is speaking, Alan Saab is speaking in US, and he's speaking about the importance of this particular system.
My purpose tonight is to convey to you that although a lot of things are going wrong in the world today, there's a simple reason for it. Many years ago, my wife and I attended a big conference in Sweden, and it was addressed by Gro Harlem Brundtland, then Prime Minister of Norway, and she was a special envoy to UN and so on, and is one of the elders, those wise people they had around the world, a group of them. And she was talking to us and talking about the millions of dollars spent on a problem, and the millions of dollars spent on another problem, and billions spent on another one, and explaining all these problems we were trying to deal with on a global scale, and how despite the expenditure of really billions of dollars, things were getting worse. And she was appealing to us as scientists to try to see the interconnections between them. And everybody was nodding their heads and saying that made sense. After that, I went and put the problems on little cards and really played with them on the carpet, just thinking, all right, rearrange them, what are the connections? And I found they're not interconnecting. They're all coming from one source. It's a systemic problem. And if you think about it, that probably makes sense to you. We've been seeing civilizations fail because of agriculture. We've been seeing the problems get bigger and bigger. But how can so much go wrong when most people are trying to do their best? Most people are good. We've got tremendous knowledge over the centuries developing that made agriculture and civilization possible. When so much is going wrong, it's got to suggest to you that maybe there's a simple systemic cause. And that I want to talk to you about tonight, and how much you can do. Every one of you personally can do that about that. Now, before I begin, what is this? What is that? Do you want to come and smell it? It's cow shit. Okay, I'm making a point here. What that represents is more important to your future, the future of the United States, the future of all of your families, the whole world, the survival of civilization. What that represents is more important than all the technology in the world and all the money in the world. They're not going to save us. What that represents might save us. What do you want to smell it?
So if you have listened properly, what did he say? That what that represents? What does that represent? It represents the cow. And what did he say? It is much bigger than any technology you have, and that is the only thing that can save us. Who is saying it is not told by an Indian? It is told by the West. So now we might have understood how that saves us. We cannot remove them from their, disconnect them from the land and keep them in the Shauchalaya. It is cutting the branch on which we are sitting. We will never achieve our context if the cows are in the Shauchalaya. They have to be on their land, doing their functions, and that is the only way. Now the West has realized it. They have doing the research and giving us the data when we have it in our textbooks. The real cow products in contextual cow protection. This is a very important thing that you need to understand. The real cow products, we have a lot of cow products in market today. The real cow products in contextual cow protection are those which prevent diseases as against those sold to cure diseases. Now the cow products that are sold are that can cure diseases, but the real cow products are those that can prevent diseases. Which are the cow products? Cow products means that is being produced by the movement of cows, not from dung and urine, by the movement of cows. That is the real cow product that we have understood. Agriculture comes from. Which are they? They are the real product. Cow products are the vegetables, fruits, millets, grains, flowers, and even water is a cow product. because it is by their movement. If it is a cow product, that is coming out of their movement, then there is no need for any medicines to cure a disease. You are disease free. That is what the real cow products are. So cows, by their inbuilt function of grazing, saves our soil and secures our livelihood. We have a choice. You want to live on the dust or you want to live on a healthy soil. If you are seeking a career that can assure you the real food, I'm challenging you. Whichever career you can say that can assure you the real food, I mean real fruits, real nuts, real milk, real water, real knowledge, and real environment, then the only career available to human being is cow-based farming, because that isn't this the only profession that supports photosynthesis? Is there any profession that you may be earning income, which is one that is supporting photosynthesis? This is the only thing, and photosynthesis decides our future. That we need to understand. That is where the full secret is. Anything, if we have damaged our landscapes, if we are thinking there is only 60 more harvests left, it is because we have disrupted photosynthesis. And only plants can bring back that photosynthesis. So be the change you wish to see in the world. See, even now they have understood it, and now they are grazing in the snow. That much place we have reached. So the actions required to maintain profit. We are doing profit. No, we are doing for profit. So the actions required to maintain profit are the same as those required to maintain the environment. That is the interesting thing here. Profit comes only from a ever-growing, fertile environment. Lakshmi actually means fertility of the land. It is not money. It is the fertility that comes important. So by this, I hope how to move the cows and then how to use the cows for farming we have tried to share to you. Any doubt you have regarding this, we can see. And by tomorrow, we will, because there is a lot of request on the part of the participants, how can we make a model out of it? I am sure by this time, those who are having land might have already made their models, because we had in the discussion regarding the fencing and all. I'm sure you have done. And I'm sure any person who has attended this 7 sessions and are on land will be knowing how it has to be done. So by tomorrow we'll do that, and little bit on contextual decision making we'll manage tomorrow, because it is not just enough that you grow real food. You should also know how to eat. That also we'll cover tomorrow. And any more doubts you have on this, I'm passing it on back to the host. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for the presentation. Now, I request the participants to come out with their questions, if any, and they can raise their hands and ask the question. Yeah, the first question is from Arvind. Yes, Prabhu, please go ahead with your question.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Yeah, so it was very enlightening today's session. And normally these Go Sevaks tell us to keep the cows in so-called Go Shauchalayas in the night, but now it is a myth now. My question is there any effect on the health of the cows when in a marshy land where it rains heavily when it is kept outside, or any precautions that are need to be taken when the cow is left outside during rainy seasons or in a marshy land, etc. So how we can take care of say the foot and mouth disease, etc. This is my question.
Yes, so the marshy land, before that we should understand, for getting protection from the rain, what we use is an umbrella. So that means you need something above, in between the sky and our body. So what is it natural that is present in a grazing land? There are trees. All the animals, not only our domestic animals, excepting our domestic animals, even you can see in a rainy day, you can see the birds may be sitting on the tree or maybe even on the electric line. It is raining heavily, full night it may be raining, but they will be sitting there. Their body is designed for it. But they need some protection. That has to be provided by the trees. That is where it comes. So when you are keeping them, especially in the night, that's a planning process. Like, in the daytime, if you do, if the daytime, if you are keeping them in the marshy land, grazing them in the marshy land, it is okay because you are there. The nighttime, if you are keeping them different places, don't plan a waterlogged area to keep them. Should never be there. When you keep them for an extensive period, waterlogged area shouldn't be selected. You should select a drier area and where there are trees. That is the basic requirement that you need to do. And regarding the foot and mouth disease, it is because we have started to feed them urea enriched food. Now, when in this grazing system, once upon a time, this was not a story in India when we had our native cows. There was no foot and mouth disease here. Foot and mouth disease came after crossbreeding only. Not just crossbreeding alone, managing them in the Shauchalaya is what led to foot and mouth disease. Now, when you remove them out of that system, it will slowly go away. One more thing very important, they should be on eating diverse fodder because the medicine is the diversity that has to be the medicine. So when all these things come back, naturally foot and mouth disease will be out. Don't worry about foot and mouth disease. It is not going to kill any of our animals. We have been managing it holistically. Don't worry about it. It will only make your animals more healthy. Don't worry about any disease, provided you are managing them properly. Keeping them in Gaushauchalayas, and if you have disease, there you need to manage it. But otherwise, don't worry. If they are on the land, the grass, the diversity that's growing at that particular time is the medicine for that problem that comes then. It will solve it properly. Don't worry. But see that when you plan for a marshy land, don't plan it in such a way that they have to stand or sleep on a wet in the sense waterlogged area.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. The next question is from Venkat Ramareddy.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, there was an incident in Andhra Pradesh few years back when a herd of cows grazed fresh leftover crop of a jover, and then many cows died. From newspapers, I understood that the fresh leftovers of jover plant is a little poisonous to these cows. So how do we ensure that cows are not fed with those kind of poisonous food?
See, jover is not a poisonous plant. Monofeeding is a poisonous plant. If it was diverse, it wouldn't have happened. The poison is because we have fed them only that. Otherwise, dilution effect would have happened and it wouldn't have become poisonous. There is a poison, Prabhu. Every plant has a secondary plant metabolites. And if it is high, only that is fed, it is a poison for the body. It is a diversity that manages the poison.
Okay.
So now, yes.
So I heard that those herd may be continuously fed on those remnants of jover plant.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That is.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Thanks.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. The next question is from Krishna Kata, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thanks for the lecture again. Prabhu, I have two questions. The first question is on the WhatsApp group, we discussed about building the agroforestry systems, and at the same time integrating the cattle. And as you said, you would explain that in the next session, but maybe I missed some part of it.
No. It's coming tomorrow.
Okay, so the integrating cattle at the same
After
time.
tomorrow, I cannot say no. Tomorrow is the last day.
No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Prabhu, the second question is, so if I understood correctly, tomorrow we are also going to discuss about the models and examples.
Yes. The agroforestry model is the model.
Okay. And that also includes this. So last week we discussed about the paddocks, Prabhu. And
Yes.
today there was a little emphasis on krals.
Yes.
So how does this whole fit, Prabhu? Like, okay, kral this much area and grazing
Yeah,
this
it will
much.
come tomorrow. It will come tomorrow. Sure, it will be covered. So
All
now
right.
you have understood that they have to be moved. You have understood the 4 ecosystem processes, the function of each system. You have understood the function of cows, how it has to be moved. Now the thing is you have to put it into practice.
Perfect.
Those who are now on the land, I'm sure they have got it. Now how they have to move it is ready. Otherwise, those who are planning to move also, we will all together make a model tomorrow.
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu. Seems to be today we have only few questions.
The question has to come down now.
Yeah. And in chat box, there is one question from Srinivasa Rao. So he's saying that Hare Krishna Prabhuji, it is very soothing to know how beautifully nature has its way to replenish itself if we are cautious enough to let it happen on its own. My question is, not everybody has a land and cows. Example, students or people in other professions like me. What can be our bit of contribution to address this problem of degrading soil and animal prosperity?
That is exactly tomorrow's topic.
Okay. So yeah, the question is from Arvind Prabhu.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. These are the only remaining questions. That is how the tomorrow's topic will come. When that is also finished, there will not be any doubts.
Yes. Arvind Prabhu, please go ahead with your question.
Yeah, my question is that electric fence which you are showing in the videos, is it movable, and is there any alternative for the electric fence, like any jugaad we can do without electric fence?
No, see, the herder, see, it is actually, there was lakhs and lakhs were cows were moved without even electricity. That time there was not even electricity. It was moved by herding only. So the herder is the right choice. It is when you do not have a herder or you do not know this herding system and you have some problems wherein you cannot manage it. It is then that these electric systems are needed. The one which I had shown is a movable electric fence, just one wire only. It's so easy to do. You mean maximum 15-20 minutes only is needed to set a pattern. And it's a move. The battery system also, you charge up the system and then it is used. And then again, you have to charge the battery and keep using. That is, it is not at all much damaging to the cows. The thing is, only the first day when you train them, they may come and touch the electrical. That time only, it is only one scratching only they will feel. Later on, they respect the fence. That is what is happening. It's not that they are getting shocked daily. They later on respect the fence. So then you are maintaining them in a particular area. They will never come and touch after the first day.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. The
See,
next
there may
question
be
is,
a lot of engineers in this group. Design one if you can't, don't need to purchase also. Engineering, no.
yeah. So yeah, the next question is from Suresh.
So,
Yes,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Namaskar, Prabhu. So far, I have a land. So till this year, we have done a chemical farming. So this year onwards, I want to do, starting from a smaller area, want to do natural farming. I was consulting so many people. I joined farming classes. What they talk about is they tell them about the Panchagavya, then Kashayams, Jivamritam, Ganjivamritam, lot of things. I think they don't talk about the grazing. So they think that they don't want to send the cows into the field. That means field is always busy with some or the other farming or vegetables or paddy something. And in this case, do we still, if you do a grazing, do we need to still do all those Panchagavya, Kashayam, so Jivamritam, Ganjivamritam is necessary based on your experience? What do you tell me?
Never. See, that is all. That is a phase, no? It's a transition phase from when you move this Jivamrita system is also a good system of managing. This Panchagavya is also a good system of managing. Now you are used. Why you had to use the Panchagavya at Jivamrita? Because you are doing dung-based farming. Now do cow-based farming.
Yeah.
Because
I think
all these things you told is coming from the cow only.
Sure. Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
Prabhu, how much dung will fall in a 1 square meter? You will see. Keep this many cows in a small area and see in 12 hours how much dung will fall there and how much urine would have fallen there. You would have never put this in your life.
Yeah, understood. One more question related to that.
Yes.
Presently, the land is the bare land. That means already crop is over 3 months back. Another 2 months only we are going to start that. If we need to graze that, now water source also dependent on the, we are dependent on canals. There is no water. In that case, can we put a dry straw and graze those area 1 or 2 days? Is it also acceptable?
Yeah, that is what I told. No, that is called the bale grazing. So you now whatever you are feeding in the Go Shauchalaya, you do it on the land.
Okay.
That is all. See, there is nothing new, big technology here. You have taken a small area in your Go Shauchalaya where you are feeding the cows and keeping them and removing dung and urine, cleaning and then creating more insects. I am only telling you, you have a daily moving Goshala. Keep moving today in one area, tomorrow move them to another area. Let the dung be there, let the urine be there, let the leftover of the crop, whatever residue you have given, let it be there and keep moving and see the wonders that will happen to you as you keep rotating, as you keep changing. You see the difference that is going to happen there.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, you will be simply sitting and things will be happening.
Yeah, I hear that. It's very happy to hear all those such things. Yeah, definitely we'll try that. Thank you.
So the next question is from Venkat Rama Reddy.
Prabhuji, so if one chooses to practice this model within 3 to 4 acres of a land in the middle of all this chemical forming, how can this be impacted? I mean to say whether this will impact the 3-4 acres land, or can it impact on the others? Can it help in the water restoration in that land which is cow grazed? How is it in total if you took like within this piece of land that is being cow grazed and surrounded by all these chemically formed lands? What would be the impact in total?
See, in India, from where are you, Prabhu? Which place?
And I'm from Rajahmundry, but I have a farm in Nellore district.
No, wherever it is. Anyway, it is not in a desert area, no.
It's not a desert, it's a dry land.
In a place where it is 250 acres per cow, if that can be done there, it can be done in your place also. Prabhu, it is the way we do things, that is all. And more than that, the paradigm. See, now we are already having 60 more years only as per the UN findings. Still now, if you have not understood that we have to change the paradigm, then it is dangerous. We shouldn't even think. Have faith. We deviated from the Vedic paradigm. And we took the other paradigm, the industrial paradigm. And then this is where we have reached. Now it is high time now. Don't worry.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, to do farming, you want this much dung and urine. You want to till the land. All these things the cow has done now. Then why now? What is the worry now? You tell me what you want. That also the cow will provide you.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. The next question is from Vinod Kumari.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I'm not a farmer, so I don't know whether my question is right or not. So is there any guideline around, let's say, because what I remember in my native place, the day it will rain, I mean, it is almost either the same day or next day they sow whatever they need to. they just go to. So is there any time lag which needs to be planned, like where the cow should be grazing, and specifically in desert, there is no grass. So how do they plan it? That is.
No, the planning is a must here, and not just in the mind. It has to be written down. All the planning here, it is planned grazing means the plan should be, any person comes, you should be able to show them the planning. That is, where will your cow be on this particular day of the year? That is what we call planning. And then why is the cow there? And for what purpose? And that these three things you should be able to answer. Why are they there? How many are there? And why did you put them there? That has to be there. So when all the cropping starts actually after the rain, so your crawling and getting the land ready should be done on your crop land before the rain comes. So put the seeds, lay the mulch, keep the cows there, let them eat those mulch, and then keep moving, keep it ready. And once it rains, you'll see all the growth starting happening there. That is how it has to be done. And once it rains, then it is another thing. Then thereafter, you cannot crawl them. After raining, you will have to, the biomass starts to come now. So now we have to plan your periodic grazing in that particular area. So it is a big thing, Madhavi, that, when you actually are on that particular day, for example, you in your 2 acres, imagine you have 10 acres of property, and you have some mango trees also growing, are there. And in between there is space where grass is growing. And then you have some area where some paddy or something is growing. So now your paddy is fully grown, you are going to harvest. At that time, your cow is somewhere there in the mango garden. Now, after harvesting, you want that paddy to be recycled. So what will be in your plan? You know before the plan that this day we'll be finishing the paddy cultivation. So at this point of time, my cow should move from that area to the paddy field to do the recycling there. So that is how you plan. Depending on what stage of growth your land is,
But in desert area, there is nothing before the rains.
That is because you have seen only the pictures. Desert, everything grows. There is something that will grow there. It's not that, see, why it became a desert? That you remove. You remove the cause of the desert.
Yeah, that we know.
Yeah. So when you are planning the whole grazing, you are permitting the grass to recover. Now no one is allowing, the cows are simply moving daily, so desertifying is going on. Just by doing the planning, you are allowing the grass to recover. See, for example, my full face, this side cheek, I'm shaving only half. I'm daily shaving only the half. What will happen to the other side? It will keep growing, no? Same way in the land also, when you are keeping planning the movement in one slowly, some grass will be growing in some areas. And so daily as you keep moving, they will be getting fresh grass. It's not, now it may be a bit difficult to visualize. Come to the land. There's no other profession that supports photosynthesis. Come to the land, mother. We will learn it.
That means throughout the year also we should keep this doing especially in the desert area, not just 5 days or 10 days.
No. You should continuously it has to be done. See, this particular farm where Dr. Deepthi Mataji has done, it was full of stones, Mataji. It was full of stones only. Now where in that video you saw, no, it is full of sand or mulch. It is there, no? It was stone only. Now you can't see stone there. It is now covered. It is getting covered, and we are growing things there. And the other land which they had, when I used to go, if one wind comes now, I'll be full of sand. That was the soil erosion at that time. One wind comes, all the sand will be full in our body. Now that doesn't happen there because it is covered.
Okay.
It is an experience, Mataji. Now because you can actually learn it only by now experiencing it. You have to be on the land, see, because this is something that everyone should know. It's good that you are visualizing it. It's good. You need to think this way.
Yeah, like I'm thinking if the for good 6-7 months the land is just, there's nothing there, at least they should send cows to whatever is there, they can graze, and even the cows who are in cities, I mean, we are donating here rather than probably we can donate it to each farmer.
Just to correct you, there are no cities. There are only slums.
Yeah.
There are no cities. City means there has to be clean water, there has to be clean air, and good food.
Correct. Yeah.
It's a slum where you don't get good food, good air, and good water. That is how we call it.
Yeah,
Now,
to bring back the older culture,
Yes.
I remember when I was in school, 4th, 5th, there used to be herders in the village. In the morning, they
Yes.
will pick up, we used to go in summer vacation. They will pick up, cattle or whatever, cows, sheep from each house. And they
Yes.
will pay them, to
Yes.
graze, to take them for grazing.
Yes.
So that culture, I think, has to come back.
Yes.
So that
Exactly. That you have got the correct thing. That is
Yeah.
exactly what we need to get back. We need the herders back.
Right, right.
Everything will come back, Madaji. See, when a city is planned during the old times, this much area around the city had to be kept for cows to graze. It's a rule. That was how it was.
Yeah, Gochar Bhumi used to be there.
Gochar.
Everybody has taken that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. The next question is from Smita Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Can you hear me?
Krishna.
Yeah. Actually, when we give a small shelter to cow to protect from rain or whatever, basic. So the question is on flooring. What kind of flooring we should provide for, or don't provide just sand? Because some of them want to collect the urine and dung for making panchagavya or medicines also. So some flooring is also they were looking for, especially 4 o'clock in the morning and all. What is the basic things we should provide which is comfortable to the cows? At the same time, Panchagavya Vaidyas can also collect that.
See, whichever system you are doing, if you are sure that you'll be grazing them, then it is okay. But any system that doesn't do grazing, I don't have an answer.
No, grazing they will do compulsory, but in the night they will have somewhere they on their own come back to some shelter wherever
So why do you want the shelter to be in your place where they have to come here itself? Why can't you have them on the land itself?
Land itself, sir. Land itself, we have to give something. So they come back and take shelter. Earlier also in that 1 acre, we saw that. Some things in hot sun, they will come to that shady place and sit.
Yeah. Yes.
So
no, till your trees have come, they may have to come. See, in more than 350 cows are in the Jaipur Goshala. They don't have a structure. They are not in the structure. They are on the land 365 days.
Okay.
Why do you want to think like that? Agreed. One point is there. If you do not have a structure now, no trees are there and you are trying to develop that land, okay, you need a temporary structure. That point of time, you may need it. Only during that particular time. After that, why do you want to keep them in the Goshala? I have to support the context I have made. I cannot support another context. My cows, if I am helping you, they should be moving. I cannot think of keeping them in a Goshala just for whatever purpose you are saying.
Right. So the Panchagavya Vaidyas have to
Panchagavya,
go
you make Panchagavya with the cows moving, not keeping them in the Goshala. Why should I recommend that system?
Right.
You make Panchagavya. I am not at all like, please don't misunderstand me. I want Panchagavya to be made, but I don't want them to be in the Goshala.
So the Vaidyas have to go behind the cows.
The Panchagavya was made like that only.
Yes.
Not like, they should come to my place and pass urine. And when I get up, they should pass urine. That is not how it should be.
Okay. Because they had argued with me once, so I
No,
had told
see, without all these things, that system won't work. So they want the cows to come and obey their commands. That I won't support.
Okay. Okay.
Because it is against my context. I am a veterinarian. I cannot support such things. But I am not at all against Panchagavya. But I don't want my animals to suffer just because of Panchagavya or cow products. I'm 100% for cow products. There's nothing wrong in it. It's far better than the allopathic system of treatment. But I don't want them to suffer for that. See, what I've seen in many centers where urine is collected is that person comes at a particular time, he wakes up all the cows and he starts rubbing the back so that they will pass urine. That is not, it's not right to do. If you have to be there, you have to keep a person there and see that when they pass urine voluntarily, you have to take it. Not by compelling them to pass urine. And if you want to collect the dung, collect it. What's the problem? But don't disturb their freedom.
Yeah. They were telling me it should not fall on ground. Before that.
So the main investment, the weak link in making Panchagavya is how you collect it.
Right.
But that shouldn't be at the cost of disturbing the cows.
Agree. Yeah.
To stand for it, Mataji. That's integrity, no? You cannot simply support anything and finally the cow has to be suffering. No. I am promising you the product will be far better if you do it this way.
Okay. Yeah. I got
even without consuming Panchagavya, that sick person, if he comes and sits there itself, his disease will go.
No, that I agree. Experience myself.
Yeah, that is where we have to come to.
Yeah.
See, always don't forget your context. That I've been stressing in all my class that, context and paradigm, we cannot shift. Welfare of the cows, welfare of human beings, welfare of all the 84 lakh species is our prime concern.
Right. I got it. And now I know how to answer that.
Answer. Good. I'm happy.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. The next question is from Swarnim Jain.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Prabhu.
I just want to add something to the last question, which Smita Machaji asked you. We do one thing. Whenever we milk our cows, we have purchased some plastic tubs. So whenever we milk our cows, compulsory she urinates. So we keep the tub behind her legs and collect the urine directly in the tubs. So we don't we haven't made concrete floors, and so we know when she urinates, means whenever we milk the cow, compulsory she urinates.
Yes.
So at that time we keep our tubs below her legs.
So that means if you decide to keep the cow and the calf together, then your Panchagavya will be close.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And what you do?
Yes.
Now it's because you are milking because the cow and the calf are not together.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now when you keep them together, then how will you collect the urine?
That we have to just.
That is exactly what she asked.
Yes. So
that is where you have to spend the money. No, see that is where you have to invest. The collector should be skilled to collect the dung and urine. Prabhu, I have personally collected. It's not a big thing. Just to show, when they opposed me, one day morning, myself and Dr. Sree, we both went and stood there and we collected urine. It's not a big thing to do. You have to invest.
Yes, definitely. And my another question is, Prabhuji, this I like this kraal management. Yes. So you can shift the kraals over your land, and we can fertigate the soil naturally.
Yes.
So So we can do so pre-harvest also we can manage this, and post-harvest also.
Prabhu, yes, Prabhu, how much of demand you can do? It is only a planning, Prabhu. It's only a planning.
Yes. So, and what is the best method to sow the seeds? Means, is it before establishing the kraal there, or after the cows, after the
See, if you put the seeds before the cows come, then they will do the pushing it into the soil and all. They will do that, compacting the soil and all. They will do. But when you do after the cows have been brought, then you will need some structure to do that process.
Yes, then again we will disturb the equilibrium.
Have to disturb this.
Yes. So it is better
one thing I will tell you, that when you do it this way, it will not be an organized cropping. You may be seeing some diversity and all. If you want to do it organized way also, before the cows come, you do the seeding organized way. You put them in the line and all, and do put this.
Yes.
So then again, your crop will come in an organized way.
Yes.
It's all planning, Prabhu. There is nothing big, it's only you just be there, see how it is happening. Then many ideas will come.
Yes. So pre-harvest, we need to keep the bales of the fodder there. And post-harvest, the crop is ready, and they just need to recycle the.
Yes, that is their job. No, their function is to recycle.
Yeah, wow. Very nice. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, Hare Krishna. The next question is from Krishna Katha, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, when you said Deepti Mataji's farm had 350 cows, the 350 cows, they are living 350 or 365 days on the land. I was just wondering, Prabhu, how do they manage the water for the cows?
There is a system all over. They have laid the pipelines.
Okay, so we have to maintain that system.
Yes.
Okay, and is there any guidelines, Prabhu, to maintain the quality or the standards of the water that is provided for the cows?
So the same water all the inmates in that farm drink, only the cow is given.
Okay.
They are also drinking when they come to the particular land. They open the pipe, and the workers also drink the same water. Even I have also drunk.
Okay, Prabhu. Prabhu, in the same in connection to this question, Prabhu, recently I asked one question. So, in one of a soil management session, which was explained also by Deepti Mataji, in there where you mentioned that you need not have to build a pond, but once your soil health improves, your whole farm is basically a pond.
Yes.
And I just had one question in this regard, Prabhu, that I also want to raise the question about bore wells versus or the open wells, the traditional open wells and so on. Do you have any suggestion, Prabhu? So we are not in a hurry to kind of have a bore well or something. We want to systematically make the same thing which you said, the whole farm a pond. But in this transition phase for cows and also those who are living in the farm, they need water supply. So I'm not sure whether it's appropriate to ask.
Can you tell me what is the area you are going to manage?
You mean the size of the area or region?
Yes. Size.
It's between 5 to 5.5 acre.
So 5.5 acres is what you want to manage. So the maximum is 2 cows. Maximum 2 bulls.
Maximum 2 bulls.
Maximum. It is depending on where you are. Where are you, Prabhu? Which place?
Telangana, Prabhu.
So then it is good that you invite cows. 5.5 acres, keeping 2 bulls. The better is you can invite your neighbor. That is another option. If you want to keep, the maximum is 2 bulls. If you're keeping 2 bulls also, you will have to purchase.
Okay.
You have to purchase fodder from outside. But if you are inviting cows, that question is not there.
Okay.
So apply all these things and then decide how much water you will need.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You will not need much water, Prabhu. I think with tomorrow's topic also, you will get a better idea on how it is. Because there are certain principles. See, farming also, to attain the context that we have laid, there is a way to farm also. So in this, you needn't worry. It is because, you are thinking of 350 cows in your 5.5 acres, finished.
Yes.
You will never get the water. You are troubled. Actually, her land needs only 10 to 12 cows. Maximum, it is 20 cows is the maximum. But now she is having 350. There lies the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are having the correct stocking rate, why do you worry?
Okay. Yeah. But do you also suggest the open wells, Prabhu? Usually, if
No,
you
Prabhu, we should reach the open well stage. That is our
okay.
the open well
So
is good. After
okay.
the good clean streams, no. See, the open well is connecting the underground streams.
Exactly, Prabhu. Yeah.
So then that is superior, no? Why worry, Prabhu?
Yes.
Superior.
But in the transition, if required,
you
can
it
go
is
for
a reverse
borewell.
engineering. It's a reverse engineering
that
you are doing, and slowly. But never do any commercial farming when there is no water. Because the money that you have invested will not come back. You cannot get the cost of the water that you have used.
Yeah.
How much ever you price. So don't do any commercial farming with no water. If you are doing that, you should be looking about rain-fed cropping only.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. That answers.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. And the next question is from Arvind.
Yeah, one more question, Prabhuji. Let us say there is a particular breed for that particular area.
Yes.
Is any other breed in the adjacent area also allowed in that? For example, let us say North Kerala, it is Kasargod variety. Let us say whether Harlikar will fit into Kasargod region or North Kerala region, just an example.
See, what I know is Harlikar, isn't it a crossbreed? Probably 2 breeds were bred, no? Harlikar. Is it a single breed?
As far as I know, it is a single breed.
It is Amrit Mahal that was crossed. Right? It's a crossbreed. The king did.
Maybe.
Okay. So then Harlikar, actually, it is a tall, slender one. The impact needed is different. This particular area, it is more towards the sea, and the humidity is also more. So I would say if it's better you keep the local only, because Prabhu, more than the cow breed, the culture in this rumen is also important to that particular area. So that cow is getting that culture from the grass there, local grass, and that cycle is continuing. So now when you bring another one, it takes time for that also to get adjusted to this type of food. And the grass growing in that area is enough. Little bit of grass, if they graze, that will be enough for them. But for when you bring killer, a heavy cow, it needs more land, more grass to be eaten. So then it will even affect your economics.
Okay.
To be safe side, it will be keep your own, the local breed only.
Okay. One more question. In your example, you had given the example of 10 acres land and making a small part of 6 cows grazing per day.
Yes.
So what should be the area for 6 cows?
No. That 6 cow is for 41. That model that is, which I have told, is 2 different areas. One is the one I showed is 6 cows in 41 acres when the 365 days is the recovery period. The other one which I showed is the recovery period is even lesser. Otherwise, how can you keep in 10 acres 6 cows? So the recovery period. Yes, Prabhu?
Yeah, assuming that recovery period is around 90 days.
90 days, then 6 cows may need 12 acres.
Okay, and per day, how much area we should devote for these 6 cows?
Yeah, 6 into 75.
No, but it should graze together. So that small area where it is grazing together should be around 75 meters, or should it be
75 square meter. Prabhu, this how do we understand whether it is 75 square meters? That's a simple method. You take 1 square meter of area, cut the grass in that square meter by 1/3. Another square meter area you cut half, and another square meter you cut half whole. you dry it and you wait. And then you will understand how much grass is there in 1 square meter. So you know now your cow needs this much 8 to 12 kg per day, if your cow is 400 kg. So then you will understand how much area will I have to graze the cow so that it gets that 8 kg from the 1/3 itself or half, you decide. And that is how you decide. So then on an average, the minimum requirement is in a very good dense growing area, it is 75 square meters. But don't take that as the standard. It is the minimum. It can even be 100 square meter. So that you have to measure and actually find out. There are now sticks, seeing the height of the grass, you can decide, you can say how much grass will be there in 1 square meter. There are now grazing sticks are there. Better than that is, by doing it one area, if you cut, like we did in Jaipur also, we cut one area and then we weighed and found out that how much would be there. Easier way is 1 square meter you cut at the bottom. You wait and then you can arrive how much will be there in half, how much will be there in 1/3. Based on that, then only it is perfect. If I say 75 square meter, it cannot be applied everywhere.
Fine. Okay, so it is based on calculation.
Based on see, you should be knowing what the biomass growing in your area, how much is there, and as your soil develops, the biomass is going to be even more.
Okay. Yes. Yes. So initially it will be worst case, then we keep improving.
Think it is the worst. Start with the worst, provide more and see. And then as it develops, 1 year when you complete, you'll know where you get the best grass, where they preferred, all those things you can plan. Even when you are having a wedding coming up next year, you will have to plan your grazing so that at that time you will not be there. Then it should be somewhere near your house. So many things are to be considered when you're planning grazing.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very good.
Thank you, Prabhu. The next question is from Anil.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Sree Kumar.
Yes, Prabhu.
My question is, once we are done with the harvest, we'll allow the grazing for the whatever is left there. But we were initial discussions. We were discussing that the top layer is the more preferred thing. But we have already cut the top layer. Can we still leave the cattle for grazing for
yes
on the remaining left off?
Yes, definitely. They may not eat the full. They may eat little more only from that. You may have to provide more.
Okay. So, but still we can leave them for grazing that leftover, whatever it is.
Yes. You should leave them there.
Yeah, that was my question.
Yes,
Thank
sure.
you, Prabhuji.
Because their function is to recycle.
Yeah, and one more thing. Once they eat, can we also cut and leave it to dry and then leave them for grazing again?
No problem. That is only a method difference is there. No, principle is still the same. No.
Yeah, I mean they might like once variety that we are
one
providing.
area you have harvested, you have cut it, you have dried it, and you are feeding in the same area. The principle is almost same. No.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
We are just providing another means like dry, fried rice and cooked rice kind of a thing.
That is, see, still the principle is there. No, you have recycled the crop residue at the site itself.
Yes. No. Thank you, Sree Kumar.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. The last question is from Guru Raj.
Guru Raj Prabhu, is that your daughter? Was that your daughter?
What?
Who was that small girl? Who was that small girl you shared in the group? There's something wrong.
Hare Krishna.
Hello, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Who was that small girl? Was it your daughter?
No. I have not posted anything. I have not posted anything.
There is a problem with your
Hello?
microphone or with some network
So
issue.
internet connection is very poor, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes. So you can ask your question in chat box.
Your intelligence is not poor, Prabhu. Only internet is poor.
Is it now audible, sir?
Yes.
Sir, right now, is it audible?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, please go ahead with your question.
No. Not audible, sir?
Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Question. Regarding naturally, mostly the grasses they come up are monocots.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
To begin with, we see only monocots like grasses. As the soil condition improves, do the legumes come up?
Yes, Prabhu. At least 300 species will come.
Okay. One more question, sir. When we cannot support entirely on grazing land, can we support the
Can we support?
animals with stalks, dry stalks or dry?
Yeah,
maybe
surely,
something like
surely. But it is input intensive.
Prabhuji, there is a problem with your
that.
network. We are
Once we
unable to
cannot
hear
graze
your question.
Once we cannot graze throughout.
Prabhu, you do one thing.
Throughout the class, I thought.
You could hear. Did you hear the session? Did you hear the session?
I did miss the session.
Okay, don't worry. Don't worry. Our host will give you the recording.
But he will give after tomorrow. But if it today, I can get it and prepare for tomorrow.
Don't worry.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. We will. The last question I can see Jagadish. Yeah, because I think this can be the last question because already now it's 1 o'clock. Because 1 o'clock I have another session actually. It's okay. Yeah, please go ahead with your Jagdish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thanks for this. Really, it's enlightening. Prabhuji, I have a question. Same as what Anil asked. In general, I mean, we have a paddy which is done by our workers, and then after the harvest, when we cut, only little is left. Obviously, I mean, even as you said, cows will graze whatever is left in that, maybe a part of it. Now, if because it is very little, and then obviously there is nothing for the cow to graze, in that, can we water it for some more time and then let the grass
Where did
grow?
the paddy go? Where did the paddy straw go? You have cut the paddy straw and you have taken somewhere. We have removed the paddy. Where is that straw then?
The straw is taken by our worker itself because he has cows.
Then it won't work. Then what to do? You have to bring it back here. If you remove it from outside, then what will where the paddy straw go to make their house?
Yes, I mean, I think he'll keep it as a stock because he has some cows, so to graze them and all, he is keeping it.
So you do one thing. You tell him to bring his cows to your land only.
Okay, sure, Prabhu.
Why should you take it there? See, anyway, he wants to graze. What will he do with the dung? He will accumulate it there, and all the flies will come and bite the cows. Tell him to bring his cows to your land only.
Sure, Prabhu.
Yes.
And then in line with the same thing, so if now even after some time the cows will graze whatever straws that are left, and then there is a gap of like almost 2 months between after the yield and then before we start again doing some work on it. So can we like water a little bit and then see if the grass grows, so that again we can bring the cows
What is
graze
your
as well?
total
So
area? What's the total area?
that it's up to 2 acres, Prabhu.
2 acres. How many cows you have?
I mean, my worker has almost like 4, Prabhu.
So then you are bringing that cow to your area. So then you need to plan such that now you need to bring those cows to your area only when there is green there. Why do you want to?
Yes, exactly.
Why
Yep,
do you want to bring it
that's the
that
plan.
way?
Yeah.
Because then see, that's a very limited resource, water. You cannot.
Right.
Prabhu, in the most adverse condition, you may have to, but that shouldn't be a continuous practice.
Yeah.
He has to be taught about this whole science, and he should see that the cows are moving in different properties, and one point of time he should come to your property also.
Sure, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prabhu. And the one more request is that we have been posting the question and answers after this session. So unfortunately, we are receiving only very less responses actually. So we are requesting again to all the participants to kindly participate in the questionnaire so that we can actually present in a better way. As per your questions, we will understand and we will present in a better way for the future presentations. So after this session, very shortly we'll be posting the link of another questionnaire. We request you to kindly, answer the questions and submit. So this is all for today.
Prabhu, before closing, the last time the question was, what do the cows need? The answer is they need the tip of the grass. What does the grassland need? The answer is a big stomach.
Yes.
A big stomach to recycle the grass. All didn't say that, so I'm just giving you that was the answer.
Yes. Yes, Prabhu. So so this is all for today. So we will meet again tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last day. So of course tomorrow we'll be having a guest, and we will be having a small interview with the guest also. Of course, yeah. So we will end this session for today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sri Kumar Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu.
Hare Krishna.